following show features stupid opinions and ideas from two idiot brothers who probably did little research and practiced zero due diligence on the topic at hand. The MLO Bros opinions do not reflect the views of their employer, guests, sponsors, families, neighbors, or pets. If you do not like what they are saying and don't agree with their views or opinions, don't watch the show. We can promise we do not care. Welcome to the worst show on the internet.
Anything. I'm excited that
our system.
We're live. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Oh, we didn't do it. We got here real quick. Hi, everybody. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
You got the intro music. Yeah, you're live, dude. Now we're really close. That's Tyler. All right, everybody. We're live. MLO Bros. We are setting up the cameras. We're going to talk to Tyler here from Exospec. He's going to give us some options on different internet companies trying to throw out there. We'll talk a little bit about what the rules are now, because Isaac and I are obviously about everything. And then, but first off, news. Isaac, thank you to Youngstown Talent Terrazzo. I have a shirt for you. I didn't wear it because it was sweaty and gross. Because I went and bought Tyler and gave me a bunch of shirts to wear on the podcast. Yeah, it's good.
Youngstown Tile and Terrazzo.
Yeah, Josh.
Taking care of you at
Josh,
your house,
go.
huh?
Yeah, taking care of me. And we're getting some tile. And then
Where you
Dave
getting tile
DeSantis.
at? Your bathroom?
Yeah, 2 bathrooms. We're redoing both. And then David DeSantis.
You tell him to like reinforce the floor underneath the tile. Like, did you say, hey, maybe you might want to waterproof that a little bit more than normal?
Yeah, because my kids do cannonballs.
Yeah.
So we're doing that. And then also big news coming up. In August, you and I are going to start doing MLO Bros Talk Back every week on Thursdays.
Yeah, I think we talked about this today, and we think just Luke and I going after it, whatever topic of discussion, once a week, and then having guests on the other day will benefit us more. So that's the game plan, starting in August.
So yeah, all right, Tyler, what's going on, man? Don't be nervous. Be calm.
Oh, just coming back from a day of touring data centers.
So what? Oh, sorry. All right. So, Tyler, where are you from?
I'm originally from Niles.
Okay.
I live in Boardman now.
Okay, cool.
The last 5 years, I had my business in Warren, and we just relocated to Youngstown, 1 West Federal Plaza yesterday.
Good job. 20 Federal Plaza. You'd be looking for.
Oh yeah. Funny thing is, I had to walk in there. I didn't have any change to pay for parking, so I had to walk into 20 West Federal and stop at Subway.
Yeah.
Buy a bottle of water to get some coinage for the
Yeah.
parking meter. It's barren in there. Like I've only ever known of VXI. Like when I was in high school and when I went to YSU, everybody worked at VXI doing call center stuff for like AT&T.
You could see it used to be something.
Yeah, like a long time ago.
Like
a
our
long time.
grandparents. Yeah, exactly.
There's this big picture right when you walk in the wall. You can see the old brass entryway. I don't know what that building was originally. I could try to look it up. But just like with most buildings downtown, we had McKelvey's, Woolworths.
Yeah,
my grandmother worked at McKelvey's.
Yeah, our grandma worked at one of them.
She worked at Penny's, JCPenney's downtown.
Yeah, JCPenney's was downtown. The Knox building that the Federal's in now, it was McKelvey's. My grandma worked.
Huh. Very cool.
Where she met my grandfather, actually.
So, all right. Well, let's talk a little bit about your company.
Sure.
You have it is your company, right?
Yeah.
Exospec is the company.
Yeah, so
you explain it to us.
Yeah, so Exospec is the company. We started in 2017 as an IT consulting firm doing managed services.
Okay.
Like networks, hardware, software.
Company, like business wants.
Yeah, for business.
Okay.
Well, as we come into a business, we take care of all their cloud solutions, their hardware. We run in their network, handle patching, stuff like that. That's what I started in 2017.
Gotcha.
Yeah, updates.
Okay.
firmware
Oh,
updates.
patch. Oh,
Patches.
like a patch.
Patching.
Video game patches.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah, talk
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
Talk video games.
Yeah, but except instead of fixing the maps on Call of Duty, it's fixing a 0-day exploit in Windows, or something that
right.
Got it.
an exploit that hackers would use. A couple months into doing that, we had run into that most of the services that we wanted to deliver required a lot more bandwidth. And a lot of businesses still had DSL from the phone company.
Okay.
Or
that was the one. Okay. Dumb this down, Larry. Dumb this down.
Oh,
so
yeah.
DSL's coming out of your phone.
Yeah, out of your phone jack, not dial up, but like what?
Dial-up is
yeah. No, there's still places out. There's still places out there you can get dial up internet. It's crazy.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Dial up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or POTS phone lines. And so, anyways, we quickly pivoted into. We just kind of stumbled upon it. Had background in networking. I mean, by trade, I've been a software engineer, self-taught since I was 9 years old. I've been a programmer.
Okay.
And that's what I've done professionally my entire life. Is I build software.
C++, little basic.
Oh yeah, that's where I started.
Yeah. C++. That's what I did when I was in college. 25 years ago.
I don't know what that is.
Dang,
low-level programming language.
Huh.
Yeah, if you play a video game, it was written probably in C++. And so we got into WISP, wireless internet service providing. And we actually started out on the Trumbull Regional Hospital on their roof. Okay. They let us we just did a pilot, and we got one radio, put it downtown. We were in T-Bike, the Tech Belt Energy Innovation Center, now it's Bright Energy Innovators in Courthouse Square in Warren.
Right.
Yeah, so we basically we built our own tower on the roof of Bright, and we beamed it up to the Union Savings, used to be Chase Bank in Courthouse Square in Warren, and we went from the Chase Bank to the roof of Trumbull Memorial Hospital. Just to test it out, learn the technology and just dove in from there.
So is this like a big Wi-Fi? Like how would we compare it to
wireless? It's
wireless
like a big.
internet.
Yeah, so it's called technically it's called fixed terrestrial wireless broadband. Fixed because the radios stay in one place versus cellular, which is cellular because it's mobile. It moves around between cells. Terrestrial because it's on Earth. There's no satellites involved. Wireless because it's wireless, and broadband because it delivers, higher speed internet. At cable and fiber fast speed.
Okay.
And so we started that under the brand Warren Wireless. We did that for a few years. Like a year into that, like in 2019, we started running our own fiber into the buildings next to T-Bike, and we started just experimenting with fiber connectivity, and had our first gigabits, symmetrical gigabit. Meaning a gigabit being a 1,000 megabits, which when you see your speeds from the bandwidth you get from the cable company or something, you're typically getting 100 by 20, 100 megabits per second download, 20 megabits per second upload. Okay. Like businesses and enterprises get what's called symmetrical speed, where the download and the upload is the same.
Like freaking, he's talking about Chinese.
Yeah, Chinese.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I'm
real fast, real slow.
Yeah, real fast, real slow. Yeah. But as a person, like you're downloading a lot, you're streaming, you're playing games, you're not broadcasting a lot unless you're a streamer, hosting a podcast, or you're on Twitch or something
like that. Ours is totally not fast enough, by the way.
Yeah.
And that's that's one of the big things that changed, especially through COVID. Is there's a lot more content creators that are pushing out to the rest of the world versus consuming.
Pushing out, is going to slow it down more.
It's more intensive than
because that's the upload part.
Yeah. So, but typically they didn't give you as much upload because it's more precious.
It's way low, right? Okay.
Yeah, because you didn't need it.
Yeah.
Unless back in the day, like a lot of like hacktivists, hobbyists, like they call them prosumers. Like me, I host game servers. I went and bought servers online when I was a kid, and I'd host dedicated servers for my friends play Counter-Strike and stuff with me.
Did you ever play World of Warcraft?
I've tried to. It's not really ever been my thing.
Someday we're gonna have a guest on that played World of Warcraft.
All my friends have. I mean, I've played it, but I'm not. I haven't played it like that.
Right, you didn't play
I was more into StarCraft and Diablo.
Oh, dude, Diablo's a good one.
Yeah.
Sorry, nerd alert. You got the freaking thing behind you, so
the Balrog.
Nice.
Yeah, so you're amongst your people here. Yeah. Okay, so the upload. See, and I always wanted. See, I didn't even know that. Like, this is how freaking the upload. So, like, when we were setting up our internet, I should have been asking Armstrong. Hey, what's our upload speed? I mean, download's important too for the work we do, but upload is way more important for us because we're doing our podcast.
Yeah. Anything that if you're sending an email, uploading an attachment, If you're streaming and broadcasting to anybody,
So
that's upload.
More.
Yes.
Wow.
And there's a whole lot more to it than just the bandwidth, which is the download and the upload. You got latency, jitter, and packet loss of the other three, kind of like metrics that are involved in determining like your quality of connectivity.
Right.
So we were doing the wireless stuff and built that as a network, and spun that off with some investors in another business. That's a whole other story. But we've always been we remain focused more on infrastructure, like building. We define ourselves as a CSP, a cloud service provider. We have data centers. We build racks. We're like Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure, but we also resell and utilize some of their services. What they're called public cloud.
Okay.
And the three providers that offer that are Google, Microsoft, and Amazon.
Yeah.
And then what we've kind of found our niche in is building private cloud for people that are outside of the mainstream, getting shadow banned, counterculture, not necessarily political one way or the other, but basically, and businesses that don't really want, if they have confidentiality concerns or privacy concerns with being on public.
Do you know Destiny?
Destiny Ketchum?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to high school with her.
She just said hi.
Oh,
I
hey,
haven't.
how's it
To
going?
learn from him.
Oh yeah.
Destiny was my workout instructor.
Yeah, she failed miserably.
Oh yeah,
Dude, I'm down. Well, I'm down.
That's not from her though. That's kind of you having a coming to God moment.
And we went to school together since I think preschool. We were in honors
Wow.
classes.
Hi, Dad, today.
That's cracking.
So, okay, sorry. Totally.
It's our 10-year class reunion this year.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, we're great.
Wow.
Yeah, I graduated in 12.
Wow.
I
So you guys turning 30? No, 28?
I'm
28,
29.
10.
28.
I'm 29.
So
See, that's just too much personal information. Man. You get hacked just from people
Just
knowing just for the internet knowing that much
So
about you.
are you totally worried about getting hacked all the time?
Oh, I never worry about getting hacked.
Because you're all protected from everything, from every single angle that people don't even
So-
understand.
No, I mean, I kind of have to be because I'm a liability concern for all of my customers.
Yeah.
Oh, because if he gets hacked.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
my stuff has to be even more locked down.
Let's save the hacking stuff because we were talking
Oh,
about
yeah,
that
let's
let's get the cable. Let's talk about the cable stuff.
Yeah,
And then or not cable, internet.
internet.
And
Sure.
then we're going to talk about the hacking stuff. So stay tuned because he's got a good story about
So,
what he does on the side. So
you mentioned like fiber, like the fiber internet,
well, I guess you got to explain to us what.
and that's currently what Armstrong is, right?
No, so right now, and I can't speak to this 100%.
Yeah.
Armstrong, every business that sells internet, mostly cable companies, phone companies, they all have different divisions. Right?
Okay.
So around here, if you think back to the origins of Armstrong and Time Warner Cable, when it was Time Warner Cable, now Spectrum, owned by Charter Communications, because there's been a lot of
Oh,
consolidation.
heck yeah.
Those industries operate as cartels. I'm not saying like Mexican drug cartel. I'm saying I went to school for economics, and the term for businesses that operate this way is
What's your
a cartel.
What's your
Of a cartel is when they have mutual agreements for non-competition and price fixing
against
How is
each
that
other?
against one
How
another.
is that legal?
It's almost intentional, and let me tell you
So
why.
Spectrum says,
I'm
dude,
here.
you stay over there.
I'll stay over here,
We'll stay here.
and
then
where
that
we
way
and where we overlap, we'll have the same pricing.
See, that's
I
crazy.
remember in at YSU learning business law, and aren't there specific laws that don't let you like
Do stuff like that.
communicate so that you can't do stuff like that? Like you can't-
Unfortunately, in telecommunications, no, because of how regulated it is.
Yeah.
and I could go on for a long time.
because like gas stations aren't allowed to get together and be like, "Hey, listen,
Right.
we're all gonna raise the price."
Well,
Right,
the gas stations don't set the price. The gas distributors do.
I know, but what they could do is they could all get together and be like, "Hey, we're all gonna raise the prices 20 cents," and then all of us still make a profit,
So-
and people have no choice but to come. So like, how is that? That's
that would
similar.
be illegal price fixing.
Yeah.
In most cases, the companies, the way that they operate, they do national advertising campaigns. So they have to have unilateral pricing because they divide things into markets. I mean, it's all just based on economics. Is where it makes sense to charge more, they'll charge more. Where it makes sense to offer more higher bandwidth packages because the demographics. It's the same reason why you're not going to have a Whole Foods or a Cheesecake Factory in Boardman. Boardman, Poland, Canfield is still probably one of the highest median income areas in Mahoning County. they don't meet the thresholds that at the corporate level that they set that justify. They've run the numbers and they know they won't make the money they need to make. So that's why you won't see a Whole Foods or why you won't see a Cheesecake Factory. It's the same reason why you wouldn't see know, Comcast Xfinity 2 gig internet 10 years ago is because who's going to buy it? Right?
Yeah. So there's no market there. So these guys, they go in, they say, okay.
Can I vape in here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do whatever you want, man. And then they come in, they split it up. They say, okay, here. You have like AT. So in Poland, I'm just going off of me in Poland.
Yeah.
We have AT&T.
Yeah, AT&T is what's called the ILEC, the incumbent local exchange carrier. That's the company who owns the phone lines where you're at.
And their service is terrible. It's like
for DSL.
It's like 10 mega or whatever.
Yeah, because it's and it's delivered over antiquated POTS or it's plain old telephone system.
Right.
I'm going to use acronyms and try to define them when I do.
You're
good.
It's dated. Oh, you should see the military acronyms they use.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And it's just an outdated technology. You can only push so much through a piece of copper. It has an upper limit, and then it also gets older, so it falls apart.
Right.
It was built for phone, and then it was retrofitted to do internet.
My house is 20 years old. I doubt half of the outlets work.
Sure.
There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, half the outlets in my house aren't even grounded. So just think about a house, the average house, and how antiquated most. If it works, you don't touch it. That's the same way the phone company works. It's the same way the cable company works. If it works, why are we going to upgrade?
Right. So then my bitch has always been then with Armstrong and with our area in general. I can use Armstrong. They can raise the price, which they do every year.
Sure.
They can offer whatever. I got in a huge fight a couple years ago with them and actually caught them. They were charging for like overuse of and they didn't have it on their website and any of their waivers and any of their stuff.
In
their disclaimer. I legitimately said it wasn't in there, said I wanted to, and they're like, oh, sir, it doesn't. So I called their corporate guy and I had their head marketing guy or their head guy call me and said, we apologize, we've added it. You're right.
Yeah.
I actually had them update their thing because it was so slimy. So it's like
you'd be surprised.
I'm not surprised.
It's business as usual.
Yeah. So there's no options. Now I guess at this point we can get a Starlink, I guess.
So you can get satellite.
And I can get a satellite. Is that any better?
You've always been able to get satellite.
Is it any better though? Is it any faster?
It's faster than the previous satellite. It's not faster than
speed wise.
I've seen speed tests from people that get as much as 500 meg down.
See, that's what Joe was saying he was getting on Starlink. I think.
The thing is that it's never going to beat anything else in latency because you can't beat the speed of light, and there's a physical distance from the satellite to you, and it's just a relay. So even when you get satellite, you're still actually getting fiber internet because it's fiber fed to a ground station, beams it up to a satellite, and then the reflector on the satellite serves your area.
Yeah.
And you have the same problem you have with both DSL and cable, where it's a shared connection, right? You and everybody else in your cell or in your area is talking to that same satellite, just because by the nature of how it's organized. Versus same deal in DSL. You guys are all going back to the same switch, sharing the same bandwidth. Same thing in cable. You're going back to the same fiber node. Usually serves 200-300 people in the neighborhood. You ever drive around and see those little green cabinets on the street? Got a little power meter on the side. That's where the cable company, they'll have fiber come into that cabinet, and that's where the cabinet converts it into coaxial cable. And basically, they have a fiber network that serves. They call it fiber to the node. Serves their nodes, and then they give you coaxial cable into the house, so they give you your TV, your phone, your internet. Problem is, everybody on that node is sharing that one strand of fiber. So ipso facto, if you build fiber all the way into the home, everybody has their own strand. You have your own direct connection, and speed of light is the speed of light. It's nothing faster than it.
I'm picturing like a spider web.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like into the houses, into the TVs, and so on and forth and back.
Yeah.
I swear there was some kind of, and I might be totally wrong, there was some kind of like law that was passed or some kind of agreement with the city of Youngstown and Armstrong's Fiber where like they had
locked it in
for the area and could something about like their speed, and they could provide it to everybody, and like nobody could compete with that for a certain amount of time.
Yes. So no.
No.
No. So Armstrong I would say Armstrong serves parts of Youngstown and Spectrum serves parts of Youngstown.
All of Youngstown doesn't have DSL though, correct?
I'm not sure. I know that there's some parts of Youngstown that has AT&T and some parts that have CenturyLink, because CenturyLink's the neighboring in our area in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah.
Those are the two what are called ILECs. Those are the phone company that have been the phone company since
I don't
the phone
think they
came
have
out.
high-speed internet in Youngstown. Wasn't that a problem? Didn't we have? Remember that we had Julius on, and he said that was a problem. Like they didn't
on
have
the south side of Youngstown.
yeah, they don't have like to the home. They don't have high-speed to the home.
I'm just south of the south side of Youngstown, in Boardman Township. I have Armstrong cable, and it's high speed, but it's also high price. But they, what you're talking about typically, and it wouldn't necessarily be about fiber or cable, but what cable companies typically have with cities is what's called a franchise agreement. And if you look on your bill, you'll see a franchise tax. That's a fee that the city charges, a percent of the revenue, and that's basically the city's tariff on the provider for the right to be the provider in their city. And that predates the internet days. That was for cable TV or CATV. That's typically what led to a lot of that cartel monopoly non-competition, because it's basically an exclusive. It's like a franchise. If you're if you franchise a McDonald's for this area, McDonald's isn't going to let somebody else like build one across the street from you. So if Armstrong becomes the franchise for Youngstown, then they carve out this territory, right? They set up an agreement. Then in exchange for that, they have to pay 1.5% of billings. Well, they don't pay it; they just pass it on to the customer. So that's one of those additional taxes and fees.
Always about the money, man.
And that's your city screwing you. That's not the provider. The provider's passing through the cost. But there's a lot of different agreements that are going around, especially. So in 2018, at the federal level, they rescinded net neutrality, which was a big thing at the time. That's when they changed the definition for internet carriers from being subject to common carrier regulations. Basically, at the federal and international peace treaty level, there's this notion of a common carrier that if you're a shipper or an air cargo or a driver, you're considered a common carrier because you'll carry anybody's crap, no matter what it is, no matter who it is, and you can't discriminate. The telephone and telecom was also subject to that, and in December 2018, FCC ruled that no, they're not. And what that allowed is what you're seeing now, where all of the cable TV networks have switched to streaming, right? You basically started off with Netflix having a thing, and now you'll start to notice that all the content is being segregated into separate apps from separate providers. And you have big companies like Disney buying up content so they can have their little package. Reminds you of cable packages from the 80s and the 90s?
It's like everybody started pirating shit. Yeah. What happened? Yeah. Everybody started pirating shit to get away from the cable companies because they were obviously screwing everyone, and everybody realized it. Oh yeah. So then we all jailbreak like Fire Sticks and stuff. Sure. And we're streaming everything for free, and then streaming services came out. And we're like, great, Netflix is here.
Yeah, $10 a month and have everything. Yeah,
and then I'm paying more now than I was before.
Yeah, now you got 5-6 streaming apps, all $20 a month.
They all get together and are like, okay, we got a way we can go herd everyone back. Let's rob them blind.
And you'll see these deals like T-Mobile will give you like Netflix for free, or T-Mobile or Verizon will give you Hulu for free or something like that.
AT&T, I get HBO for free.
And the reason why that's able to be done now is because of net neutrality, because they'll prioritize the quality of that traffic on their network.
Yeah.
Or they'll tell you that you have a 10 gig data cap on your cell phone. Well, as long as it's Netflix traffic, it doesn't count against your data cap. That's what net neutrality allowed, where basically providers have the right and the legal authority now to prioritize and deprioritize bandwidth. So imagine you have a cable connection for your office.
Yeah.
And you want to use Netflix, but your cable provider, your internet provider doesn't like Netflix. They could block Netflix.
Wow.
They could throttle Netflix. They can make you pay extra for it.
Wow.
They don't do that.
Specifically do that if they wanted.
They could. They don't do that yet because there'd be an outrage.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why they didn't just legalize weed overnight. You got to do major. You got to move.
Yeah. Slowly integrate.
Yeah. Large scale Illuminati level changes in society happen over decades.
Yeah.
So the net neutrality then. So
that's where things started to take off. That's what made it a lot easier for WISPs and people like me, independent operators, to become an internet service providers, because
explain why that's good for you. So it's not exactly good on all aspects then, but it's good.
It's got pros and cons, just like anything
right.
else. Because prior to that, you had to be a phone company or a cable company,
okay,
right? Or you had to buy licenses from the FCC for certain bandwidth,
right,
and come in and be what was called a CLEC, a competitive local exchange carrier. And these are all just remnants of like the 80s and the 90s, like telecom deregulation.
antiquated
You
crap,
know, back in the day, people would sell you like different long distance carriers,
Yeah.
but you still had AT&T into your house.
Yeah.
Same concept, but now it's the internet. You know, we just transitioned from phone to internet.
Okay.
And so that, you know, you had to go through all this regulatory stuff, get approved by the Public Utilities Commission to be
almost impossible to do as a smaller company.
Yeah, you know, spend $500,000 before you've even built anything.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Versus, but there's also a good reason for that. For something that's critical, right? If it's phone or it's 911 or it's internet
Right.
access for education, you don't really want a bunch of yahoos out there
Right.
stringing together with tin cans and offering something. I mean, you know, I'm tooting my own horn by saying that, you know, we pay attention to quality and customer service. And I built a business based on my reputation of doing what I say I was going to do.
Yeah.
But you know, we're dealing with that now that the infrastructure bill came through and they put hundreds of millions, billions of dollars out there for now fiber broadband.
Mhm.
And they specifically earmarked it not for wireless providers because
Okay.
most of them suck.
Yeah.
Like since anybody can do it, you get everybody who thinks they can
As
do it.
wireless providers for
Wireless internet.
okay,
Yeah.
wireless internet. Right.
And it gets confusing,
Oh,
right?
dude, there's a lot of wireless. Yeah, dude.
Because there's wireless this, wireless that.
Yeah.
You know, when you say wireless, people just think
So
phone.
who's a wireless internet provider then? Is there any around here?
Around here, not really. No.
Yeah.
You definitely see that a lot more in rural areas, mountainous regions.
Is that like what the heck is that one called? Not CompuServe. That's from like 1980. Oh, I forget. Can you name one? Like
one that anybody would know?
yeah.
Not around here, other than Warren Wireless, which was ours.
Okay.
Prior to us, there was
like a Mountain Link or something.
Yeah, you'd find companies like that.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like where it's. I mean, because this has been around since
Okay.
since the dial-up days, like
Right.
people doing wireless. Because you know, you're talking about in the mountains,
Yeah.
it's impossible to put poles in the ground or trench or put stuff underground because it's solid sheet like
Right.
slate.
Right.
But it's definitely like a business case thing.
Okay.
But in our case, like the end goal was always fiber. And even before like I had this company, I worked for a software startup in Warren back in 2013, 2014 before I moved to Chicago for my career. And we had dealt on the not on the consumer side, not on the residential side, but on the enterprise side. You know, we were a software startup. We didn't want to be in Amazon's cloud. We bought our own servers and we needed to have like big 100 gig internet pipes to our servers to host a website that would have millions of people on it. And just getting quotes at that time from it was still Time Warner Cable, Roadrunner at the time.
Yeah.
For that, they wanted like 20-year contracts, like $500,000 to build, like because they were like a mile away from us where we were at on 422 in Warren, and then they wanted like $27,000 a month.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's just, and that's 2014. So it hasn't even been a decade. Just to show you how that changes over time.
Yeah.
You know, now you get that for a tenth of that cost. You
Yeah.
know, it's between $2,000-$3,000 a month for the same.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what's different about what we're doing? If what you want to get into.
Yeah, let's talk. Yeah, I'm curious to see how you're doing it.
Yeah, so we started doing the design 2 years ago. We started getting our contract signed and started investing in. Basically, when you break down fiber connectivity, there's two components that matter in terms of the conversation, what's being talked about. You have the middle mile, then you have the last mile. The middle mile is what runs between data centers, content providers, what are called tier one internet service providers.
Hold on. Data center?
Yeah.
What's that one? Contact providers?
Content provider.
HBO.
Like Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll say Netflix. Okay, got it. I'm breaking this down on the chart because I'm gonna get lost.
Yeah, universities, schools, hospitals. Basically, there's two ends to the internet, right? There's the server and the client. There's
that makes sense.
There's the content and the eyeball.
I'm bringing
right?
HBO through the provider. Wait, no, not the provider. That's the provider. To the hospital, right? Put it away.
So the best metaphor that makes sense to most people is compared to the electrical grid, right? So you have a power plant on one end and you have your house on the other end.
Got it.
the power plant leaves, and they got those big, super high voltage transmission lines.
Yeah.
That's your middle mile.
Got it.
And
Then
they hit a substation. They step the voltage down, and then you got the distribution lines to your house.
Okay,
I might be saying that backwards. I'm pretty sure it's transmission and distribution.
Yeah. So right, so it's going from the provider to the house.
Yeah, one's like intercity, not intra-city. So it's between like Cleveland. Middle mile like fiber would run from Cleveland to Columbus, so Cleveland to Youngstown.
Here's what I get confused. Is your company running the wire?
Yeah, our company's building actual fiber, new fiber cable, both aerially and underground throughout. Our goal, like our commitment, is to 100% of Trumbull and Mahoning County.
And how do you guys do that? So like,
you want the 10,000 foot view? So basically,
obviously. Do Isaac and I go out and like, Isaac, start running? It's just like reeling it out, or how do you do it?
No, so basically, our strategy has been making some partners. Right, partners is where everything works. We identified even before any of the federal stuff was going on about the bridging the digital divide or any of the COVID pandemic stuff hit. We'd already been working on this. I identified high rate of return areas. So you're talking about apartment buildings, or what we call MDUs, dense neighborhood runs.
That makes sense.
And things like trailer parks and commercial plazas where you have a lot of customers in one physical location.
That makes a ton of sense. Yeah, if you're going to run the wires, you want as many customers as possible to make the price.
So that's like cohort A. And then cohort B are what we call broadband deserts. That's like your northern 10 townships of Trumbull County, getting southern Mahoning County, more rural areas where down an average like suburban street in Youngstown or Boardman or Campfield or Poland, if you go down 1 mile of street, there's 100 homes.
Right.
Maybe. I'm just like throwing numbers out here. Now you go down the same 1 mile street in Mecca Township in Trumbull County. You might not. If that. Yeah. Right. So obviously the economics are different. So we identified both of those and attacked them separately, and then different from, say, where the cable company has to always run you back to the same what's called a CO or central office or head end. What we did is we leveraged building a diverse middle mile network, right? So we have data centers in Warren and Youngstown where we peer with the greater internet, other providers, everybody. We handle all that portion of it. We have a middle mile that's built between our data centers and enclosures that we build on individual streets, neighborhoods, at like a park or an apartment building. And from those enclosures, then we build the last mile right out of that enclosure right into, say down a street or into an apartment building or otherwise.
So are you using stuff with like Armstrong then, or like?
No, so Armstrong would be our competitor.
They're your competitor, but you're saying you're working with other. I thought you said you were working with them.
No, when I say partners, I mean like property developers, owners, city governments, where we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically, we identify an area. We'll map it out in GIS, draw it out. We'll determine where we're at from there, and then build a capital budget, and then we basically have an assumed take rate. Like we assume, like on average, we get about 30% of a market and as long as we make the numbers work, we'll do a site survey. We'll reach out to people, send postcards, or reach out to them on Facebook or other channels, and see how many people we can get interested that need it and that want it. I mean, that's the strategy for new construction.
Well, if your pricing's good, I bet we can get you a bunch of people in Poland.
Yeah. So is it the same? Is it basically the same thing that's run by Armstrong then?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
So what does Armstrong run? So
they run cable.
Oh, fiber. Okay, fiber is way faster.
Oh yeah, fiber is infinitely fast, and it's and it's
this is like a topic we know.
It's future proof.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And what cities around here have fiber now? Nobody, right?
Well, enterprises do, like businesses, doctors' offices, hospitals, universities. There's fiber all over the place, and a lot of industrial
but
sectors.
Not residential stuff.
Yeah, around here, residential fiber. I think that AT&T is going to be rolling out their U-verse here in the next couple of months. I don't know if
they've been talking about that for freaking years.
And another thing is that they're no further along with that than we are, except for the fact that we are that far along.
So what's the speed on?
So we're actually the first provider and this is based on my own research. To my understanding, we'll be the first provider in the state of Ohio offering 10 gigabit symmetrical fiber internet to the home. So if your average like entry level cable,
10 gigabits.
yeah,
I
10
don't know. I don't know what to compare that to.
Yeah,
like,
so if your average, that's like being able to stream like 1,700 4K movies simultaneously. It's absurd.
It would be impossible.
It's niche. It's luxury.
Yeah.
You know, and it's if for nothing else, it's just because it costs me no more to offer that than it does for me to offer less. So I want to offer the max that I can offer because it's more
terabyte.
So like your hard drive on your computer is typically a terabyte or two.
Yeah.
And a terabyte's 1,000 gigabytes. Right?
See, I think
a byte is 8 bits. So basically, network traffic is in bits, and file storage is in bytes.
I'm trying to think what we use a month, and I want to say, is terabyte, would that be
how much traffic you consume, like how much bandwidth you pass back and forth? Yeah, it could easily. If you're selling big images or big files, it adds up.
Streaming freaking PS. I mean, let's talk about my house.
Yeah.
We're not talking about here. We're talking about TVs, every TV,
every TV,
every internet, iPads.
Oh yeah, it adds up.
Yeah.
So and there's projections. It's just the consumption is just going up and up and up.
Oh, dude,
you know, quantity and quality is going up and up and up. You know, I mean, 8K is around the corner.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna like sidestep the absurdity of like how unnecessary most of this stuff is.
Yeah.
But it's consumer culture. It's what exists here.
So if I was burning a terabyte or two, I wouldn't get close to the 10.
No. So a terabit or
Is that
terabyte is 1,000 of gigabit or gigabyte.
Okay, and how much?
You can't get anything more than a gigabit connection from the cable company today. Where in the specific areas that they claim to offer it.
Okay.
Like I have business customers today that
I think we're talking about two separate things.
Yeah. You're talking about data used.
I'm talking about use.
Yeah, usage.
Yeah. Are you going to have a cap on that?
No, absolutely not.
So there's no cap on that.
No caps.
No, he's talking about
he's talking
how
about
quickly
speed.
It's coming through.
This is our speed.
I am at. So I did the Armstrong cable, the highest one, because we burn all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I can run a speed test right now and tell you how much you get.
Well,
right
this
here.
is different than the house, but
run it.
You have Zoom internet. That's Armstrong is the Zoom internet.
Zoom 2, I think we got here or something like that. I want to say it's 100. It's supposed to be 100, 150. No, 200.
I don't know.
My house is 300. I know that.
Yeah. So right here, right now, I'm getting about 100 down.
That's supposed to be like 300, by the way.
Really?
Oh, 100%.
And we're not doing anything.
And we're streaming, and I've called on that, and they said, "Oh, if your stream is going to drop." That's what they said.
Maybe on your upload. Like right now, like even though we're streaming, I'm getting about 10 megabits per second of upload.
Is that good or bad?
I mean, so typically, and the FCC is ready to change this. Currently, at the federal level, legally, broadband internet is considered 25 by 3. 25 megabits per second down, 3 megabits per second upload.
So we're above that.
To put that in perspective, it takes 25 megabits per second of download to stream one 4K movie.
Okay.
Right. So if you had 100 meg internet, 100 megabit download, and you had a house of 4, like all 4, you could be streaming Netflix at the same time.
Which is
and quote unquote do nothing else.
Yeah.
Typically, you get a little bit more than that.
Oh, dude, you're on your phone while you're watching TV and everything else.
So from that standard, right? So our entry level offering is 100 by 100 symmetrical. So 100 megabit download, 100 megabit upload.
100 to 100. So you'd be able to do 4 TVs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically. Okay.
Yeah. So it's comparable to cable with the additional upload.
Yeah.
But it's.
And how much is that a month?
It is.
Sorry. That's $69.99.
Yeah, $70 a month
with $100 installation.
Yeah.
So I could totally do that.
That makes sense for you to do.
After 3 months, it would pay for it.
What are you paying right now?
$91.
Okay, and I'm on their unlimited plan.
I am too.
For $300. You're $99?
91.
How are you 91 and I'm like $125?
I don't know. It's Armstrong. They suck ass.
Is that
dude.
possible?
Yeah, I started being like $80 a month for my Armstrong bill, and it's now up to like $120, $130.
Yeah, I'm like $130.
I haven't even lived here for.
I like they grandfathered me in. I had it for so long, and I haven't changed.
Those dirty bastards are giving you.
Yeah.
And how is it cheaper than I go up?
Yeah, people's promos change all the time.
Yeah. So like they've
jerks.
tried. I've threatened them so many times.
Ripping off existing customers is part of the business.
But there's nowhere else to go. I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Exactly.
And that's why I call them a monopoly. I have nowhere. I can't get AT&T.
I call them and like every time they're like, "Oh, we're raising your price." No, you're not.
Yeah,
you're not.
You can get satellite, but it's going to be higher latency and expensive. Or you can go get DSL, and it's going to suck even worse.
That's the freaking problem. Let me see how much I put now.
And then nowadays, the cell phone companies like Verizon and T-Mobile, really big now, will give you home internet, and I'm not going to lie, it's actually pretty good. You know, it's pretty price competitive, and it's pretty. Verizon and T-Mobile will give you like 4G LTE or 5G to the home.
Wow. Yeah, Stacy just said that. I literally just got T-Mobile's Wi-Fi for half my Armstrong bill, half, without with a $15 extender in my home, and life is amazing.
I would love to get rid of Armstrong cable. Maybe do I have to have a T-Mobile cell phone though?
No, they sell them separately, I'm pretty sure.
But I will give Armstrong credit where credit is due. They don't their internet rarely goes down. It went down last week.
Dude, it went down last week like 3 times.
It went down and it stayed down for quite a bit. Like my entire work day, I kind of just sat on the couch and did nothing, like twiddled my thumbs. But
that's what you do all the time.
Would that happen? Like would you have drop in service?
No,
we
haven't really had any reliability issues.
Yeah.
It's because it's so much. I mean, when it comes to fiber, outside of a backhoe tearing it up, or something like that's hitting the telephone pole if it's run aerially, but that stuff's fixed rather quickly.
So how many people do you need over on Massachusetts Avenue for me to?
We don't need anybody anywhere. We've already made the commitment to building out 100% of Trumbull Mahoney County, and the phase that we're at now is we're offering people discounts for pre-orders and prepaid service.
Yeah.
So in areas where we have 33 locations that we're building POPs to now that will be servicing customers from, including one in Ravenna in Portage County and one in Pierpont in Ashtabula County. In addition to
Where's Mahoney?
We're all 31 locations in Trumbull Mahoney County. Yeah, we're in everywhere.
Okay.
And we have a lot of stuff in the works that I can't talk about publicly yet until it's official.
Okay, cool.
But
so you prepay. What do you save if I prepay?
If you prepay for a year's service, you get 10% off the monthly rate. If you prepay for 2 years of service, you get 20% off. And if you prepay for 3 years, you get 30% off.
Yeah. Randy Kushner, you're so right, Randy. You were like dead on. Don't expect a crowd. You're speaking Chinese to 95% of Poland residents.
All right, so here it is. Randy, let me talk Poland real fast. He's going to get rid of Armstrong cable, and we're going to save money.
Same equivalent speed, faster speed than Armstrong, lower price.
But I don't think it's faster than mine.
Our gigabit and 10 gigabit is 10 to 100.
So how much does that cost? So the bottom one's $69, right? Sorry. There's different.
Oh yeah, here. All 3 of those. We have 3 offers, and we might change that to better fit the market. But this is kind of where we started.
1,000 megabyte per second,
dude. There's a 10,000 in there.
Well, wait, 1,000. So 1,000 is $9.99.
You're better off going the $9.99 a month. The only thing is installation. So if I get everybody on Massachusetts Avenue to sign up, will you cut me a deal and not charge me for installation if I get everybody on the street?
Anybody that prepays for internet doesn't pay install fee.
Really?
So if you prepay, if you prepay for a year of service, right, and say everybody on your street did that, that basically helps us crowdfund the cost of building your street, and then in exchange for that, we offer the 10%
So
discount.
I kick you 12 months. I kick you 12 months.
So I got to give them $1,200 then for this one.
1,100.
That's a good sales booth. Okay, sorry, love it.
Yeah.
What's $9.99? 99.99 times 12. He's not going to get me. What is that? I'm not paying you a penny more, Tyler.
It's 11,999.6.
I'm not paying you a freaking penny more than that.
So for somebody prepaying for 100 by 100 fiber, it's actually $1,069.20.
So 1,000. So if I give you $1,069, I wouldn't have to pay an install fee.
Yeah, the install fees.
I'm instantly saving $10 right now.
Yeah, and then you're prioritized on the construction schedule.
Because you're not paying the install.
Yeah, well, I'm saying compared to what I'm paying now.
Yeah,
because I'm paying 109 right now.
Yeah,
and that is, and I swear I'm getting 300 megabytes per second. This is 1,000 megabytes per second.
Yeah, 1,000 megabits.
Megabits, sorry.
Yeah. It's a nomenclature thing.
So that's
gigabit.
How much faster is that? That's going to be
If right now you have 100 megabit connection, it would be 10 times faster.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
it's flying.
Yeah,
and then as far as my house goes, so like I have those little pods.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have stuff like the extenders, or what do you do with that? Because
extenders are the devil's lettuce.
Because it slows it down, right?
Yeah. Well, basically, wireless standards don't have anything baked in for extenders or repeaters.
Okay.
What they have is typically you have to use a mesh technology, right? But what we have,
Dude, Chinese again.
yeah,
mesh.
Is that like
those
your zone
shorts?
things, those little octagon things that?
That's a pod.
There's
Those are the pods.
different providers call it different things. It's just
Mesh,
it's
like
one of
mesh
those things where
shorts from the
you get
80s.
what you pay for. Like if you go out and you buy a very nice high end wireless router, and it has a product that comes with it for a repeater or a bridge or a booster, an extender, your mileage may vary. But if you go buy like a $10-$20 generic Chinese Wi-Fi extender booster,
I would never.
then you wonder why your connectivity sucks. That's why your connectivity sucks.
I always wonder why my TV in my bedroom is really slow, and then it makes total
it's
sense.
the hardware over the internet itself.
Oh yeah, most times, a lot of the times, people have issues with their internet connectivity. It's not really a problem with the internet service provider or the cable company or the phone company. It's whatever setup you did with your wireless locally.
Well, here's what we did, and it's totally stupid. This is why I struggle watching TV in my room, because downstairs in the basement is the big screen TV with, of course, my PS5, which is super important.
Yeah.
So I had them put the router
down there
in the basement.
Yeah.
And then they have the pods upstairs, and by the time I think it gets to the pod, you know what I mean?
You mean those octagon things?
Yeah, those are the pods.
So those, and you connect.
Yeah, so that's the problem there, right?
Yeah,
so
and basically, which one of those, if you count each one of those as a hop, every time it hops between,
it's slowing down.
It divides by half.
Oh shit!
That's how the technology works.
So the one up to the would be 150, and then by the time it gets to my bedroom, it's at 75, or it's at 75.
Yeah,
and that's in lab conditions, right? In a perfect scenario, there's no metal in your wall. There's no obstructions, no noise. Like none of your neighbors have wireless. Like if you want it to be perfect.
And I was gonna say too, and everybody's sucking. My kids are all sucking up off the internet as you go through. Yeah. So by the time it gets up to my room,
it's dead.
Dude. Exactly. By the time it's like spinning. It spins.
I'm so tired.
So I cannot watch TV in my room until the kids go to bed, because that's when they turn the TVs on. Yeah. That makes so much sense. Holy crap, Tyler.
And that level of consideration the cable company doesn't put into. They hook up the box, they plug it in, they walk away, and they leave you to do that. One of the things where we try to differentiate is actually making sure that we design the location and the setup for your Wi-Fi in the house.
You want it in the middle of the house, right?
Yeah. So it's like, somebody in a one-bedroom apartment versus somebody who's got a 3,000 square foot, two-story house. Exactly. We're going to approach those two different customers a little bit differently. Yeah. And make sure that
makes so much sense.
I've always wondered this too. How far out from, if it's like a bubble, kind of, like a big, like it like puts a bubble around the house. How far, like, how much does it slow down the farther you get away from that?
It's so it's electromagnetic radiation. Yeah. So it works the same way as a light bulb or anything else. It's the inverse square law. So for every 1 unit of distance,
I totally know what that means.
For every 1 unit of distance you get away,
the inverse square law.
I remember that.
So for every unit of distance that you get away, it's almost like a factor of a power of 2 or 4.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So
and it's in decibels, right? Which is a logarithmic scale. So like 1 decibel of change is 10x.
Dude,
I'm gonna need you to talk to me like I'm at 7.
So say you walk 10 feet away from your router, and you have 10 decibels of wireless signal.
Yeah.
And then you walk another foot, and now it's 9 decibels. Yeah. 9 decibels is 10 times less power than 10 decibels.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Freaking.
That's deci. Yeah. Deci meaning 10 bells.
Deci.
Yeah.
I think that was
it's one of those things. It's one of those things. It's like right in your face, but nobody ever really sat down and explained
it down.
You do it all the time, but you never really realize.
Yeah.
So all right, we got 10 minutes here. And it's
and I don't want to speak. I don't want to keep speaking Chinese.
No, dude, you're good. So let's talk. So if a customer, when I guess the first question is, when do you think it's going to be around here?
So we broke ground in July. So we
And
expect.
we say around here, we're saying Mahoning County.
Yeah, Mahoning and Trumbull County.
Okay,
Because
broke
we broke ground in July. We expect to have our first customers within 1,000 to 3,000 feet of our pops live in September.
Okay.
But our overarching promise, our current estimate, because we're getting pretty heavily affected by supply chain and labor and everything, is having our 10 gig or 1,000 megabit per second service
That's what I want. Okay.
live by January of 23
in our whole area.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah.
The most important
first customers. I couldn't physically build fiber to 100% of the homes
Yeah.
in 6 months.
Okay. So
But our current project underway now.
Yeah.
By January.
So do you think you are going to kind of help abolish that cartel system that was initially in place?
Oh, 100%.
That's what needs to end.
It's one of those things where I believe in connecting people. I believe, I benefited in my life. The public education system around here was trash when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for having AOL and those little CDs from Sam's Club, everything I learned from the internet. And basically what it comes down to is like, why do I do this, or what is my actual the reasoning behind this? Because it's not really about money for me.
Yeah.
I have jobs, I have other businesses that pay my bills and win my bread. This is more of a labor of love and a passion for me, because I just believe that everybody has the right to equal access to information and to one another, and that's a fundamental human right. And it's been throughout the history of our species and society, has been the number one way to control people and to hold people back. And I think that equality of opportunity is kind of what the United States was founded on as a country.
Yeah.
And right now, because of the way that things have been set up and how things have been rolled out, that doesn't exist. And, in the public sphere and the political sphere is just now being considered a thing, but it's been something that's been on my radar for about a decade.
Good for you, man.
And at the end of the day, if I can connect everybody, this is why I say, because it doesn't necessarily have to be my customer. If I come into the area and I do this, and it forces them to provide better internet to their customers or lower their prices, more the better. That's capitalism. That's how it works.
Because again,
competition.
Exactly.
Right now, like we said before, right now, you call Armstrong, hey, I'm leaving.
They don't give a shit
about
good
luck.
luck. Good luck, because they know you're going to be back.
Yeah.
They 100% know there's
like the hottest girl on the block.
Yeah, they know.
Knowing somebody's going to be there.
They know, and they're going to change their tune when Tyler's there, able to offer this better speed, cheaper.
Yeah,
they're going to change.
It's kind of like cell phones. When you go to a cell phone company, you're like, hey, I'm going to walk down the street and go to Sprint unless AT&T you fix this and you know give me a new phone or whatever. They'll do it.
One of the other paradigms I think is big to hit on that hasn't really been spoken to or that we've really advertised is that our entire network is an open access network, meaning that anybody who wants to provide service on our network is more than welcome to. Like our network infrastructure is built.
So they'd have to pay you to use it, though, right?
Yeah, they would pay to use. They'd pay for the maintenance and
MLO Rose Cable Company.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
have no idea what we're doing.
We're obviously experts.
Yeah, because maybe there's people that want to come in and they want to offer like cheaper packages. They want and they want to ride our fiber and offer somebody internet for $20 a month or $30 a month.
Yeah.
And the economics are there and they have the market for it and they want to do that. Yeah, why wouldn't I let them do that?
Isaac, we would call Tyler so much with questions.
Like, hey, Tyler, I'm definitely not trying to run this wire right now. It's crazy story.
And I would be lying if I didn't say that it takes a village.
Yeah,
it's like I might be the most converse because I have a very broad understanding, but people way smarter than me help me do this.
Yeah, that's good.
There's engineers and consultants all across the country that I work with. It's a community.
If it makes you feel better, though, having a conversation with you makes me feel a lot better.
Oh, no. If
we
have a conversation,
not very hard. I don't know if that's a compliment, Tyler.
I want to go read a book or something.
I want to eat. This is stressing me out.
I'm hungry too. I never want to make people feel.
All right, so we're wrapping up here. So let's so I put the email on or the website.
Yeah.
Exospecfiber.com. You can see the packages. I was on there earlier.
Yeah.
You can see the packages. You can prepay.
Mm-hmm. Or pre-order. Anybody could. Well, people could prepay for service for a discount, but just to weed out scammers and like spam. We made it
$1.
we made it $1 to pre-order. So just to make sure that you're a real person and we're not getting BS.
Yeah. So I could give you $1.
You give me $1 and you're on the list, and we'll be building to you.
That's amazing. So there you go, everybody. Everybody go pre-order. We'll post this tomorrow too on our groups for you guys to help out. To say, hey, pay $1. It'll get it here quicker. Again, I think even if you're an Armstrong cable company, you're like, I'm keeping Armstrong. It benefits you to give Tyler $1.
Yeah.
Because then that, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need competition.
Because it's because we're doing a demand-driven network build out where the more people that want it, the louder you scream, the faster you get it. Everybody's getting it eventually. We're building to everybody eventually. But where we build to first is just driven by the market.
I'll do it just to spite freaking Armstrong.
In the future, it's only going to get, well, obviously it would. It's going to get, like, our hardware is going to get better, and it's going to pull more and more juice.
Correct.
So eventually we're all going to go to this anyway.
Everybody's going to get, at the federal policy level over the next 10, 20 years. I could tell you that phone companies have already committed to pulling down copper lines by 2025. Don't quote me on that exactly.
Yeah.
And they're all gearing up to do that. I'm just trying to do it locally, do it better, and do it faster.
Get it done within that way with this. So
because if they do it, when they do it, they're never going to change.
Yeah, no.
No.
All right. Well, can they call you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Give your phone number. Are you okay giving your phone number?
Oh yeah, we have a phone number.
Yeah,
don't get your phone number. What's it called?
Potted. No, pwned.
Docs.
Docs. Is that what we were talking about? He does like anti-security or something.
My phone number's Docs. If you want to call me, you can call me because I'm a loan officer.
Good. Give me your number, Isaac. Give me your number.
I'll help you finance your next mortgage. 330-921-8978. Don't pwn me, please. NMLS number 1949316, so I don't get sued. Call us. Probably all over us for your next mortgage.
And also, let me get rid of this thing. Also, thanks to our
sponsor of the month.
Yeah, Troy, your time's almost up. You want to be a sponsor again? Better freaking call us. And then, as always, Valley Insurance, big supporter, and then Iron Fit Crew. Thank you, Dylan, as always.
And then, so the number for anybody looking to call Exospec Fiber is 330-974-1338.
There you go. You can call, talk to them. If they have questions, they can call and ask you about what they're doing, how's it going.
Absolutely.
Before they fork over 12 months of payments.
Yeah.
So I'm in. I'm in. I have said since day one, the second I have another option for Armstrong.
Oh, I tell them that on the phone all the time.
I'm out.
Keep my payment low.
Yeah, I'm out. I mean, they don't lower for me.
No.
Why the fuck?
It's because I've had the same internet, the fastest internet, sit for the past 7 years.
Yeah, you have to just cancel and sign up again as a new customer. Get that promo.
Luke, they probably know you're pulling way more juice than me, and they're like, "This kid's an idiot. He's overpaying for what he's actually using."
Oh,
you know what I mean?
So much juice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They probably know. Like me and Shelby, compared to you, we're nothing.
Yeah.
You're like almost
much.
You're almost an expense to them. You're on the edge of being an expense.
I'm constantly
like, what the hell is happening at the Schuster house?
Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, it's going to be. We're excited. I'm going to watch you guys, and I know you're on Facebook with us and stuff. So we'll keep an eye on this, and as you go, keep us in the loop.
Yeah.
So
great. Yeah. And we got like I said, we have a lot of big announcements coming soon that are even more exciting.
Awesome. So we'll monitor it. So all right, everybody, we'll see you guys Thursday. Isaac, we're diving into politics on Thursday.
Lord, I hate politics.
I know. I would. You couldn't pay me $1 million run for politics position. So
no village council, no school board member, nothing, huh?
Nothing.
Yeah, I think we're better off here than here.
Yeah, no, not $1 million. And then, so he's coming. What's the guy's name? Dave. Jim.
You invited him.
Yeah, he's coming on. He's with the 33rd committee.
And I don't even know what that is.
I don't either. That's why I want to invite him. I don't know what it is. But I guess he has all kinds of theories. Like, there's all kinds of people ripping people off and stuff. So that's going to be good.
Yeah.
Little conspiracy theory stuff. So
yep.
That's on Thursday. So, again, Tyler, thank you, sir.
No,
we appreciate it.
guys.
Everybody, we'll see you guys then. We'll see you guys Thursday. I'm so tired.
Bye, everybody.
I'm coaching football.
Have a good night.
Makes me sleepy. Bye, everybody.